I don't have my normal computer, so you'll have to. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No?
Peg, you're
Okay.
muted, but I can hear you too. I can hear you.
Okay. Awesome.
Now can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good.
I have to adjust my screen here. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
And my dog just took my chair.
Did you happen to, well, top dog, April.
That's right. No. Yes.
Oh, man. Anne will be joining us soon, I think.
Yeah,
And
poor Kathy.
Kathy, yeah.
What
COVID.
happened?
She has COVID.
Oh, no.
Yep. And she says she's taking whatchamacallit, that stuff. But she has the cough. She's coughing a lot. She's really, really tired. And I remember that. Hopefully, fingers crossed so far.
Yeah.
I haven't I only had it that once.
I haven't had it yet.
No, I didn't give it to my husband.
Yeah, I've had it.
We
Oh my
didn't quarantine either. We didn't, and I didn't catch it when he had it, like months and months later.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It might-
But we weren't sneezing and coughing either, so.
Yeah. Welcome, George.
Oh,
We
Been
know.
so long.
Yeah.
oh, I feel like I'm coming home.
You are.
Good. That's good. We have a limited time with George.
Okay.
Till
Yeah, something came up. I got to skedaddle.
Yeah, so, and we'll get started and Ann will be joining us, okay? So I'm gonna put that,
How about Kathy?
let's wait another minute.
She has
Yeah.
COVID. She's not well.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, she's hurt, so she's really not feeling good. So.
I haven't heard about COVID in a while. Is it coming
Yeah.
around again?
She's the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
person I know that now around here that has it.
Yeah, we're all stuck indoors.
Yep. Well, let's wait till 5:30.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there at 5:29. And I think Ann will be joining us soon.
Okay.
And Marianne is there, but I wonder, well, she's not, I can't hear, but she's there.
Yeah.
And we'll see her at 6.
Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds good.
So George, welcome.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you.
Nice to see you all.
I have to tell you, I haven't been wearing my Celtics hat lately.
Is that why we're losing?
That must be it.
I mean, I can't figure out why they're losing all the time all of a sudden.
God, you're doing terribly,
I
terribly.
know, it's awful.
What if I wore the hat? I'm not into this at all. Do you think that would help?
Couldn't
think
hurt.
it can help, but it's winter. You can't wear a little cap in winter when you're, okay.
Ann's here. Got her. I got
Yes.
her.
Okay, good.
Okay, so let's start this meeting. It's 5:30. Okay, all right, Ann, welcome. Welcome. And so let's get going. Everybody's here except for Kathy.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the meeting started.
Okay.
And George is going to talk to us about parameters about the COLA. And I don't know if FERCog is out yet. Is the FERCog?
It's not. No,
not
and
yet.
so, yeah, it's unfortunately, I know we were talking last year about doing another alignment study.
Yeah.
Right, and the line.
So, yeah, I should be able to get to it. Pretty packed schedule, and the finance committee's been a little more demanding than most years, but helping with the budget. But I should be able to get it done. Just don't know how quickly. What I can show you is the COLA calculation and what we've been doing the last few years.
And I wasn't on the committee when that was developed, so I wasn't sure how it was developed, or if we could review that, and the whole idea of reviewing it and making sure that it is keeping employees.
That's the main goal, and we probably won't be able to do the second part until the FERCog's out and all of that. So George, why don't you just sort of, can you take over Melissa's screen or the screen?
Yeah, I'm going to just hit the share.
Yep. Let me make you a.
Great.
Yeah.
And so what I did was we calculate the COLA at every February based on,
You should be all set.
okay, we calculated every February based on the CPI index and at the end of January. So we don't have that yet, but what I did was I took December's index and I'll just update it in a month. But this will give us an estimate of where we're going to be for the fiscal year. But before I go there, so to address April's comment about how did this come about, it came about because every year the select board, the finance committee, and the personnel board would sit down and try to come up with the COLA for the upcoming budget. And there was no real process to it. There was no real parameters. It was mostly debating. And you had ended up year after year having people on one side of the room who wanted to limit the increases, and then those bleeding hearts on the other side of the room wanting to make sure that they were getting a decent wage. And it was always hard to come to consensus. And ultimately it was just based on a vote. And there was never really any consensus. So it was, somebody came up with the bright idea, why don't we just use the CPI? Why don't we just use inflation indexes?
I think that was you, George.
May have been me. So what we decided was the policy is right here, and you can all read it. And this is the policy. But basically, I'll just critique it real quick. We decided that we would use a rolling 3-year average of the inflation indexes, so that there wouldn't be volatility in the pay increases from year to year. We try to smooth it out, but someone suggested that we put guidelines on it. When we have inflation that is higher than 4% for a year, we would use 4% for that year. And you'll see that down low. Conversely, we would never use something less than 1% for any year, even if there was negative inflation or less than 1% inflation. So that's the policy. And Peg, I can send this to you afterwards and you
That
can
would be
have
great.
this. But at some point it will have to be updated for January. So then we did some research and we decided that these were the indexes to use. And it basically represents New England, all urban consumers in New England. There's not a whole lot of indexes. And this was the one we decided was most closely related to town of Shutesbury, Franklin County. And so the first year on that is index year 2017. So what I did was I went to the Fed website and I looked up these codes. And I'm going to skip down. This is what you get when you go to the website. They have the code, the description, a little graph of how inflation has been going, and then have the tables of the indexes. And it's the differences in the index from month to month, year to year, that we calculate the percentage increase in inflation. So, for instance, 124,559 is December of 24. That's the most recent number. I put that number here. But what we've been doing is each year at the end of the January, we've been collecting what the index is. So 105, 658, and 21. 105, 658. Oh, I'm a liar. Oh, wait, 105, 658. So you can see these are the ones we've been using year to year. And those numbers are right here. And then I would calculate the change. So from here to here, there was a 2% increase. In fact, if you look at it, 100 to 102, it's almost perfect. And then the next year was 225, and then 61.61. Under our policy, 1.99, 2.25 are in the range of 1 to 4, but this is too low, so we use the 1. And then take the 3-year rolling average. This is just taking those 3 years and calculating the average. And then subsequent year, inflation was over 4%. We use 4%. And then the 4-year rolling calculation was 2.42. Same situation here. Created a 3% average As you can see, 441 is 9, pretty straightforward there. And then so on and so forth. So now last year was actually within range, so there was no reason to adjust the limit. So what we ended up with were these have been the pay increases that we've been giving employees year to year. And right now, if January's index didn't go up at all, stayed flat from December, it would be 2.92. Chances are this is going to go up and this will be closer to 2.95. I'm expecting it's going to be somewhere around 2.95, give or take. 2.96, 2.94. So this is what we've been doing. So for the purposes of this conversation today, I did these calculations. What this is the 3-year rolling without the limit. So this is taking the average based on this column
Mhm.
where
Now you should unlock it, your students.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So that makes sense, right?
Mhm.
And so what I see here is the calculations, and now you can see we're getting much higher numbers because inflation was higher. And this is the difference between what we gave and what we would have given had we not had limits. So I probably should shorten this here. You can get a bit, see it more closely
That's better.
together. And you can see the difference. And so we have been lagging behind. And this is why the alignment study, I think, based on this, I think the alignment study is probably not going to yield us very good results as far
No,
as
I don't think
Shutesbury.
so.
And last year it didn't look good.
No.
It looked like we were slipping. And so everybody knows, I did a little calculation. April, I sent you the one for the police chief.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to do that for Becky every year. Anytime there was a contract negotiation, she'd like
Mhm.
to just take all the salaries for all the towns for specific jobs. So for the police chief, I sent it along to April, and that one makes us look not good. Anybody who looks at the wage tax survey and looks at what police chiefs are getting in Franklin County and compares it to Shutesbury, I think we're going to find that we have not kept up. And I think this could be part of the reason, although the police chief wasn't negotiated, so I'm not sure that it is. But
Yeah,
if
we're going to negotiate that this year.
the only
This year.
the only other thing I would add is, so I mean, we can see the difference between what we did and what we could have done. The question is, what have other towns been doing? You know, how have other towns been addressing inflation rates that were 2 or 3 times higher than what has historically been the case for the last 20 years? Have they been giving raises at this level? I don't think so, but I don't know.
Well, FERCog will help us with that a little bit, right? Or
Yeah,
not?
we'll certainly see where
Yeah.
we are relative to everybody else.
George, could you explain to me, again, the red in the January column, 2025, December 24? Could you tell me again about that?
So we use January's, that's why this says January, but this is December of 0. So until not until the end of the first or second week of February will I have January's. And once I do, I'll put that in here and then we'll have the right calculation. So I'm calculating the 3-year rolling based on each
December.
year's COLA, each year's increase, and this increase of 2.79 is just what it would be as of December from last January. But I'll put January's in, it'll be another number more like this, and then I'll get the actual calculation. And then this will be the actual pay increase based on.
And
based on
George, can you remind me what committee came up with the 3-year rolling average? Was that this committee or
this
FinCom?
committee.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
personnel.
I mean, I don't know if you want to be on record saying this, George, but do you feel like that's still a good approach?
Well, I think that's why I wanted to do the alignment study, is to see
Yeah.
how we're faring. And based on what I see here, I'd say, the employees are probably not keeping up with inflation.
Yeah.
Well, then I think the spike in inflation took us all off guard,
Mhm.
and I don't think we can assume that will never happen again.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I wonder if we should
In
use
April.
5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that too about
I
that.
mean,
And do you know George?
Yeah, we served together.
Yeah.
Served together.
For 1 year.
Yes, for 1 year.
So who is this strange person coming on board? Wow. Oh, it's a lot to digest.
So here's the numbers. Yeah, it is. There's no easy path.
Mm.
No,
And then George, when the actual increases happen, does it always go out? You don't round up 2.92 to 3, right? It's
Right, we go, no, I
You go
argued
with the
for,
numbers.
going 1 percentage place, but somebody wanted to go 2, so. I
okay.
think Becky liked the idea too, so we literally use that number.
Wow.
That was last year's number. Yeah, I know, I don't believe in the hundreds myself. So this is the number at 4%, so if I use 5%, right, and we
Mhm.
call that 5 and call that 5, now our differences aren't nearly as great.
Right.
And our average stays up. And last year
I'm sorry, that was my phone.
was a 3.3, it would have been 4%. So, it is a fairly substantial difference going
Yeah.
from 4 to 5.
So maybe the rolling average is not a good idea in this particular case.
I think the rolling average would be a good idea if we didn't have a limit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like the idea of the rolling average because it smooths out increases, and it's not like 1 year I got 6%, the next year I got 2.
yeah,
It would be
Yeah.
a more, people
But
could plan their lives a little better around it.
but it also meant, there's 7% inflation rate and we gave a 1.62%,
Yeah.
no, 2 point, I
We
mean,
gave it 2.42,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that hurt people.
And we could say it'll catch up when it goes down, but the catch up has not been that great.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I tend to think that, and I don't think it's so much the 3-year rolling as I think it's the limit.
Mm.
So if you took the limit off entirely, how would that calculate out?
Well, that's this one.
Yeah,
That's this, and there's your difference.
okay.
And then, like I said, we could make it 5%, and that certainly closed these numbers got not as far off.
Huh.
And you don't have to make a decision now. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have the alignment study done in time for the budget.
Yeah, we really need to though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've asked Gabe as soon as she gets it to send it to me. I asked Becky too, as a matter of fact. If she sees it in Sunderland, please send it to me.
Yeah,
doesn't
because
it
it would,
not at the end of January? When, end of
It usually
January?
comes out the 10th, like February 10th, 12th, 13th, somewhere around.
Hmm.
And
And I'll
when
check
are
in. At
when
that
is the
point-
budget decided, George?
I don't know, April, what do you think?
Well, beginning of April, town meeting's going to be the end of April. So,
Yeah, so March, end of March.
yeah,
Mm.
Wow.
hopefully with the school, that's a whole other thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to if we could calculate this out, the numbers using just straight cost of living increase for each one. There's the 3-year rolling average with limits, well, and without the guide. We've done the ones with limits, but the one without the limits to see where we land.
Yeah, so if that was the case, then the increase would be 343
Okay.
this year, because that's what these 3 average out to.
Okay. And what is it actually?
And under our policy, using the December's number, it would be 2.8, 2.79.
Okay.
So, that's this difference, it'd be 0.5%.
So how does it fit in where, if we really are that off, if the alignment is off that much, we're going to have to do what we did a number of years ago is bump up the positions that have been most impacted by that.
Yeah, and that's what we did last year for a couple positions, and we might have to
Mhm.
do it for a few more this year. And if we keep, you don't want to do that every year,
No.
especially This year in particular, because we have a real problem with this budget this year. We're looking at a huge increase in expenses, and the revenues and the new revenue just aren't going to be able to cover them. The elementary school, the regional school, health insurance, it's all adding up. The police department wants to restructure. We're increasing hours for the administrative assistant.
Which are all things we have to do. I don't think we're wasting. I think we're generally quite frugal, but this is the reality.
Yeah, and you know, the town administrator's salary is going to go up. The police chief's going to be negotiating.
Yep.
So,
And then fire next year, so that would be 27.
and it does seem like we do salary adjustments above and beyond the COLA. We've done that quite a few times, and it would be
Yeah.
nice if we could cut that out. The whole point of this was really to make it pro forma, if you will, to just have a formula and a methodology that would would work.
We missed those annual fights.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was to subvert some of that.
Yeah, no, that was the point of this. Absolutely. Yeah, now the fight is, do we use a 4 or 5 or no,
Right.
you know, COLA limit?
Right.
But at least it's our discussion mostly rather than
Yes, true.
the three, all three sitting in a room together.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards not having a limit on COLA. I think that's at least a starting point at looking at this. You know, maybe keep the rolling average, but there's no limit on COLA, and that really would have impacted. I don't know what. Yeah, it would have impacted this.
Oh, it would have definitely, the employees would definitely be closer to the other towns in Franklin.
Yeah.
And we've got great employees.
We
You
do.
know,
want to
we
keep
do
them.
not want to lose them. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
And it's just so much time and energy and effort to hire new employees.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
Municipal employees, just, there's not a lot of people with municipal experience because the
Mhm.
Mass General Law has specific rules that are different than private industry.
It's interesting. Yeah, working for the government. You know, working for the government, essentially.
So-
Okay. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I can send the schedule to Peg. And Peg, you could mess around with this all you want. You just gotta be careful. But you know, this column here is what April is proposing, so that is really done already. And I'll do this schedule. If I don't hear from you about any changes, I will create this, you know, I'll get the index for January and February, and whatever you decide, I can modify. So maybe this is no longer, if April's proposal goes through, then I would just change that number, or really just use this column. And this would be dead. I mean, it just wouldn't be necessary anymore.
Well, it might be good to have just that. Well, sure, you're right. Never mind. Never mind.
Well, it's okay, whatever. I
Yeah, I
mean,
was just thinking for just as a number to watch and to just a little more data, you know, but
this is a personnel board schedule. I'll send it to you, Peg. I'm happy to do the January if somebody else wants to give it a try. Basically, the websites. Oh, yeah. So here's more description about what our choices were. Oh, look at that. I didn't know that was there. You can go to these websites, and what I do is I just delete this. I just delete this table and I paste in a new one, which is the same table, only it'll have 2025 in January's number here. Everything else will be blank, of course. And then just take that number and drop it here. And I'll do that.
Yeah,
It'll,
George, I'm not really great at cutting and pasting. I'd rather.
not a problem. As long as I'm around, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, okay.
It's easy peasy. I mean, I'd set up, so, you know, just
Hate to
insert
make
in.
I hate to make changes unless we're all talking about it. I mean, myself, well, I'll just leave it at that. I'm
Okay.
more comfortable with you doing it, George.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to do it.
Okay, much appreciated.
Mhm.
Before you have to go, you said you could meet on February 13 or February, and not the 20th and the 27th. You said February 13th or the 27th, correct?
Yes.
So when would it be more advantageous? Would it be better to wait until the 27th when we have all the information we need, hopefully by then?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know, it would be really, I could tell you if I knew when I was gonna get the survey. Until that survey's published, I can't start, and so the 13th might be too soon.
Right. Okay, so can everybody
I
that's
mean,
here,
you could tentatively put me on the 13th and then just move me if, move the alignment study to the 27th if it doesn't show up. The problem is, I'm not here for a week, so if it shows up between those two dates, that doesn't mean I'm gonna be able to get to it. I won't be able to get to it, but you know,
George, if you send it, I might be able to pop it in it, or,
okay,
yeah,
I can send you the spreadsheet I used last year
okay.
that I put all the data in, and I can even give you a quick, if you're, it's a little tricky, it's a little messy, and I can show you how to use it. I know you'll figure it out, but I could
Yeah,
just help you make see some of the things that I was doing.
Okay.
Because some positions are salaried and some are hourly, and so to make them all the same, I convert them all to hourly.
Mhm. So what does this committee think about the dates?
Go with the 20th. You know, we're looking for the
Can't do
FERCog
the
24 minute
George
wage
can't-
salary. Is that right?
25. We're looking for the
Oh,
25.
25, that's right, okay.
Yeah,
I was
that-
going to say, I found it.
yeah, no, it's for salaries that are currently being paid.
Okay,
And so town meeting ends, then the fall comes, the towns get their budgets together, and now they
yep.
have that data.
So George can meet on the 27th, and that might be better with not knowing when FERCog's gonna be out.
Well, you might want to put me on 13th and just, boot it to the next meeting if it's not ready.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
the sooner the better.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
so can everybody here meet on the 13th?
Yep.
April?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Now, one other thing about this, I guess we should also be aware of this. This is the policy that everybody agreed on and was documented in the minutes. I think that statement right there means that to change the policy, you might need to get buy-in from the other committees. I
Mhm.
Mm,
don't know that the personnel, I mean, that's not for me to say, but I'm
No,
not
it was
sure.
good. I was starting to remember there was something about if something happened, we had to have the 3 committee meeting
Yeah,
or individually.
Yeah, and-
Yeah. Does this
Oh.
qualify for that, George, in your opinion? Do you think?
It's not an extraordinary year.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say maybe not. Oh, by the way, look, this sign, this is done by the finance committee. So there you go. This is my job.
all right.
So that's the policy. I mean, I remember we worked it out in the room and we put it in the minutes. So that was it. This is what we were going to do. And we've been following it, but it's time for a change in policy.
So, George and Melissa.
Yeah.
Is it okay if George forwards all this information to you so that you'll be able to share it?
Oh, you mean on screen? Yeah, of course I can do that.
I'll send you the spreadsheet. I'll send it to both of you.
Yeah,
Right.
just send it to both of us so she could have it too, because
That would be great.
But
I-
again, the final one that we're going to use for the year, I'll do it
yeah,
based
It
on
put-
whatever decisions you folks make.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And Melissa, I appreciate that because I'm not a very good sharer of this kind of stuff.
that's fine. That's
Appreciate-
fine. We all fit where our talents lie.
That's right. That's the
Amen.
beauty of having volunteers is
Right.
matching talent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's much appreciated. And George, we really appreciate.
Oh, you're
all the work-
welcome.
Yeah, thanks, George.
yeah,
You're welcome. Nice to see you all.
yeah.
Good to see
Bye,
you.
See you next week.
See you
Okay,
next week. All
Yes.
right.
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Thanks a lot. Okay. So next on the agenda, so we've got that. Well, let's clear this up then. So we are gonna meet on the 13th.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll see where we are with all this information and the FERCog thing. So if everybody can meet it, I'll write to Kathy and tell her, hopefully she'll be feeling better by then, but maybe not. So she'll know. And then we'll go from there.
Mhm.
All right. So anything else I need to add for the minutes on this, other than what's, okay. Okay, so George. Okay, so moving on, Mary Ann is, she's there.
There she is.
Mary Ann, can you put yourself on audio?
I'm,
Can't hear you. Still can't hear her.
where is she?
Is Marianne, is your regular speakers on your computer on mute? Because sometimes that,
Cannot hear you.
oh, she's on the phone. I can read her lips. She's on the
She's in
phone.
in San Francisco. Can you, as the,
Well, hold on. Let me take a look. I might be able to help you, Marianne. Hold on. 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me look.
can you unmute us as the
If
host?
I ask you, you'll give you a button. So see if this works. Do you
There
have a
we
button?
go.
There we go.
Yay.
All right. It's different. I think because of the new account, things are a little bit different. But it's different on my
Yeah.
phone. So,
So is the new account done? And up and running?
It's
yeah,
rolling out.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know if you have a new, anyway, it's fine. Here I am and you can hear
Okay,
me.
good. Yeah,
And
okay.
I've got a bridge behind me. I don't know why.
I
But,
like it.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
that's the bridge over the Lake Wyola Bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that does
right.
look
Good
like a
one,
Lake
Quabbin
April.
Wyola
Bridge.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a bridge over the Quabbin.
Yes.
We could charge a toll. There you
Yes.
go.
Okay. We could make money. Good.
Yeah.
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 oof.
That will help us out,
Okay.
help us, our COLA. We could
Yes.
just-
Okay. Yes. Good.
Mary
Yes.
Ann, tell us about
Okay.
the request. And I don't-
Okay.
I
All
don't-
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So tonight's request, so the library, the new library, so the current library gets very minimal kind of janitor services, but it falls under the town building janitor. And I think that it makes the most sense for the new library to just sort of fall under the town buildings janitor. And but I think it would be good if we could start out with 4 hours a week of janitor service, so that trash can get out emptied a couple of times a week. Bathrooms can get cleaned a couple of times a week. I'm gonna get one of those robotic vacuum cleaners, one of those Roombas, um, so that the place can be vacuumed on a daily basis. But floors will need to be washed and we want, it's going to be a brand new building. We're going to want to try and keep it clean. Um, so, um, so Becky, I started talking to Becky about this before she left, and she said to talk to the personnel committee. So here I am, and I surveyed Pelham, Wendell, Leverett, Irving, and New Salem to see how many hours a week of janitor service they had. And, it's a range from like 3 to 7. And I think we can start with 4 hours and see if we need that much. And, I don't think we'll need more than that, especially with the Roomba. So I think it makes the most sense to add it to the town hall janitor position. Um, and, um, and, so, but you're the personnel committee, so.
Right.
Usually, Marianne, that this would go to the town administrator to I think, do you know if, I don't know what the budget line is for that item.
Right.
So because the janitor does fall under, the supervised by the town administrator,
Right.
or the custodian under the town administrator. So she'd have to be, or Gabe would have to be brought into the conversation,
Okay.
and would have to seek from FinCom, money for the line if it was over what was there.
Okay.
Would you need to rewrite the job description in addition?
I don't know if there is a job description. I've never seen one in the personnel board for it.
And is the custodian part-time? Do we,
Yes, he currently works 8 hours a week.
8 hours a week? Okay, so this is a pretty significant, it's 50% increase.
Right. And I mean,
And
he does things like, he changes the light bulbs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
maintenance. It's really maintenance. Yeah.
Like it's,
He's
Paints.
and he used to do more at the library when we were using the composting toilet, and before COVID. And then since COVID, he used to empty our trash and vacuum, and then we just started doing all of that during COVID. And then, he still changes our light bulbs if I remember to leave him a note that light bulbs need to be changed. And then we've stopped using the composting toilet. So anyway, but I did email Gabe and let her know that I was coming to this meeting.
Okay.
So I can send her another email asking her to add to that budget line. I mean, I'm sure it's not a very big budget line.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly.
Yes, yeah.
Although I will full disclosure for those who don't know, my husband is the custodian.
Oh,
Right,
So
right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
that's why I know how many hours he works a week.
Right. And I did talk to him,
Okay.
because, because it just, to me, it makes the most sense that we just have sort of a town
Mhm.
buildings person.
Yeah.
And he was willing to say, he was okay if I said to him, I want somebody else, and he was willing to take on more hours.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Yeah. So, Melissa, is it okay with you if he takes on more hours? He's not listening, is he?
No, he's not listening. I'm perfectly fine with that. Like,
Okay.
like he's okay with me being on the select board, so
Right. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
And I mean,
Mary Ann,
that's-
I think it's great that you thought of this, and I'm just curious if other towns have talked about any particular, sanitary, not requirements, but things that we need to think about post-COVID, because I mean, I'm thinking like door handles. We know there's going to be hundreds of people using the library, right? So I think it's
Right.
really important to think about surfaces that people are touching a lot and making sure those are cleaned on a regular basis.
to add to that, and I just read an article in newspaper that the current norovirus is not killed by hand sanitizer.
No,
And
Really?
by soap and water or bleach, concentration of bleach and water.
soap and
Right.
water, 20 to 25 seconds.
Yep.
Right.
To be
Wow.
in.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
something to think about. Touch points,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah.
And I,
Yeah,
So-
it can last for days
Yeah.
on surfaces
I
too.
had-
Right.
I had
Yeah.
it when I was out in Colorado. I had to got off the plane. This was 2 years ago. And it was, you don't want to have it. All
Yeah.
I can tell you is it's
Mhm.
COVID.
Right. Yeah. I'll just say that those COVID cleaning protocols have all
Throughout
kind
this.
of gone by the
Mhm.
wayside.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do like if a bathroom needs attention, we're going to give it attention, like
Yeah.
on the, like hopefully he'll kind of have a schedule and he comes
Mhm.
on Mondays and Thursdays. I'll make that up. And we're going to be open every day. And we'll have a protocol where we check the bathrooms every night. And, we have a spray bottle and we have gloves and we have paper towels. But things should have a good, real, serious cleaning,
A different time of cleaning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So
think the
that,
Roomba is a great idea.
yes, and especially because it's going to be all one floor,
Yeah.
so I think that's a great idea. And then we're going to have the door that most people will come in and out of is going to have a walk-off mat, which will really, catch a lot of that dirt. But that has to be sort of taken apart and cleaned every once in a while. But really, like, so after the winter, you take that apart and
Right.
you vacuum it out.
Right.
And it would be like, I would feel really good about Chris coming there twice a week and just helping with that kind of stuff. And then the trash, I'm thinking like the trash won't really be an issue because now we have to bring the trash over to town hall and it gets put out with the trash. But I think the trash hauler will pick up the trash
Oh, yeah, if it's out
yeah,
at the end of the
Oh,
driveway,
wow.
yeah.
yeah, we'll put the trash out at the end of the driveway at the library. So it'll be, I think we can handle that. So you think I should talk to Gabe and,
Yeah, so
okay,
so yeah, I'd say talk to Gabe, may because the supervisor is technically the town administrator.
okay,
So that
okay,
line is added or subtracted to based on, I guess, that person
okay,
deciding, and
okay,
So could
okay,
it take,
yeah.
would it be Gabe that would be taking this to the FinCom?
Currently it would be, yeah.
Okay, all right.
okay. Okay. So, all right. So I'll do that. I'll send her an email tonight or in the morning and then have that, get that in the works.
Okay.
And for next year, it won't have to be the full 12 months, but, I think we could probably, um, maybe we better budget for 10 months, but I'll talk to Gabe about that too, it's
When is
hard
the
to.
library set to be finished? I kept meaning to ask that question to somebody, and
Right. So the end of July
okay,
is
I was
the
close.
end
I
of
said something about
yeah,
June-ish, so okay.
yes. And then there's um I don't know, then there's like a period where you review a bunch of stuff. You probably know what it is.
It's the closeout period, the
Yes.
checklist,
Yes. Yes.
training on all the systems that are in the
Right.
building.
Right.
So you'll want to
Yes.
make sure that you want to make sure you're trained on that, that there's
Yes.
someone, maybe Chris,
Yes. Yes.
maybe the town is, at least there's, at least some duplication there.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Of somebody who knows. And then
It's called a punch list,
yeah.
not a checklist. I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. And then it takes a couple of weeks to move everything in and get everything all set up. So by the end of August or maybe, the middle of September or something, we'll be in that new library. But it's now that the framing has really kind of picked up steam, it seems like it's happening. Okay. Okay, good. So I'll talk to Gabe then. And then if she has any questions, she can she can just talk to you, Melissa. Because
Which,
I'm sure
yeah, or
you're,
she sees Chris is up at the town hall, like,
yes.
I don't know if
Yeah.
their schedules necessarily overlap, but
Right.
so.
Yes. Okay. All righty. But like she certainly sees you on a regular basis.
Yeah,
So
we're in communication all the time.
yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Terrific. Okay. Thanks so much. All
And
right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
All right.
have a good
I'll-
night.
All right. Good
Bye,
night. I'll see if
Mary.
I can figure out how to leave this meeting.
Yeah, enjoy your
Okay,
bridge.
yeah.
I
All right.
know.
Thanks.
I know.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Got it. Um, so with what,
Wow,
There you go. No,
No.
not
can the
yet.
host leave,
Can't
make her leave?
leave.
oh, do you want me to kick you out?
Yeah. No, don't do that because then I know what I'll do. I'll leave. All right. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Oh,
Okay, good
Night.
night.
oh, there she goes. Okay.
Goodbye.
So with what she just said, I think maybe we should look at the job description of a custodian for town. So I don't think
Yes.
we've looked at least I don't remember my time on the personnel board.
Yeah, there may be one. There's a stash of all the job descriptions that Becky and I put in the town administrator's office. It's in the closet on the right-hand side, about part way up. There should be a stack of them there.
Melissa, are you writing
And they
this?
sh-
I am writing it
And
down.
I was saying, we've got to get those, on uploaded in
Oh,
some
scanned?
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not I actually have some stuff for the fire department. I've got to scan too, or the emergency, sorry, not fire, emergency management. So, I could add that in because I'm going to use a high-speed scanner that just
That would
puts
be
it in and
great.
then separate it out. So maybe I'll grab them
Yeah.
to do
And
that.
is there a way to scan them in and also be able to edit, or that if you scan them,
Depends
you
on the
can't?
quality of the thing you're scanning.
These are
So-
probably not great quality.
Yeah, there are, if it's good enough quality, like, when you copy a copy and keep copying a copy of a copy, it just downgrades, or at least that's what it
Yeah.
used to do. If you get like the one or first copy or maybe a second copy, it can work out okay. Like you can convert it, and then you have to read through it to make sure it converted it right. Well, you do that anyway, but
So Melissa, you're talking about scanning it to put it where?
To have it in a PDF so we can share them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said something about putting them online. Yeah, I mean, April,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what you're getting at, but having a computer folder with all the job descriptions.
Yeah.
Word, and then you can just,
One of the
export them
things the
to
select board,
PDF, which
yeah.
is really easy. I mean,
One of the things the select board has talked with Gabe and ultimately it'll be a conversation going forward is a cloud document management. So
yes,
personnel board can have a folder. We all can be able to see
yeah,
everything in there.
That would be great.
Select board can have, a folder or access to things. It gives the town clerk access for open records, that whole thing. It's finding the right product and getting everybody's computers backed up to it and setting a naming standard, right?
yeah,
That's the easy part, but that's all the background stuff. Just telling people
yeah,
how to save things is one thing, but
yeah.
Oh, this new town administrator is going to have fun. Yes.
And Melissa,
Okay.
I didn't know it was your husband who is the custodian, but the reason I was asking Marianne about the hours is kind of related to the conversation we were having with George, right? Like if she just says, oh, it's only going to be 4 hours, but the real need is 6, then it's like next year you're coming back and you're saying we really, just to try to
yeah.
get
He,
the baseline
that's
right.
why I said that it was my husband, because I'm like, I'm talking, I should let
I
people
know.
know, because, it's full disclosure,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't sign his timesheet. That would be a violation of,
Yes.
I can't
All
do
sorts
that.
of-
So other people sign stuff sheets. So it would be, yeah, you're right, Ann. Like you could come back. She's kind of what she just said. She's landing in the middle, right? Kind of in the middle of
Yeah, of the
the
towns.
need is, yeah. Um, so, and the Roomba, that's going to save quite a bit of, it's a great idea.
I would love to have a Roomba in a room filled with cats. That's anyway.
I had one scare me and I was like ready to call 911 because the person didn't tell me they turned it on and left the house.
Oh my God.
And I heard this thing downstairs and it sounds like it's rumbling through stuff. And the
Oof,
dog ran up the stairs, looked scared. I'm like,
oof.
well, you're not helping me. So then, yeah, I almost called 911. I went down to look and see what it was. And it was the vacuum cleaner. It was the Roomba. I told him I almost had
Where
his
were you?
Roomba arrested. Huh?
Where were you?
I was in Chicopee. It was he lived on the side of a street, and the neighbors were all out, and they were and I didn't know someone to come in the house. I didn't know if he locked the door. The two of them left, and I was working on a project, and
Wow.
it was just me and the dog. The dog freaked out too. So
Wow. Wow. So
yeah,
Um,
that's good. Um,
moving along, or Melissa, did you have something you wanted to
no,
say?
no, no. I'm writing down job descriptions so we don't.
Okay,
Thank you.
so Marianne's she will go to, Gabe and
Yep.
talk, so that's good. I was just looking back at things, I mean, things have been so busy with town administrative position, et cetera, et cetera. We've sort of lost track a bit of what we were working on before all this started, whenever that was.
mhm.
And
Yep.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, remember there was the did you guys finish the classification?
No.
No, I'm so close. And what I was hoping to do tonight, but I can't, I was going to invite Kathy to join me in doing this, but maybe any one of you would like to, there's like 2 or 3 job descriptions that have to be rated. One of them is the town administrators. And you go through a series of questions and, it's a way of sort of comparing different job descriptions in level of, making it into different grades. So like the assessor's clerk is going to have a different grade than the fire chief, and looking at and finding a way of weighing those different responsibilities. The old form that we had used for years really gave a lot of credit towards jobs that required a lot of muscle. And so that sort of offset, and we acquired another method that looks at also its, level of responsibility, level of, material that you have to keep confidential, that kind of thing. And it would take, we probably have a couple of hours, maybe hour or so of work worth to finish that. And if anyone else would love to join me, that would be very fun. It's interesting.
April, I would be more than happy to join you if you teach me. I
Okay.
mean, I feel like that's the thing too on this committee. I don't know a lot, so I would really welcome the opportunity to learn.
Well, and you've taught me, so I've.
Yes, we all, you know what was funny? I mentioned the Oxford comma today at work once. And we had rogue things going on. We had a whole bunch of rogue letters, and the person thought it was funny. And
Well, and I was at a board of assessors meeting last night, and pointed out the Oxford comma, and the chair of the board said, "Oh yes, of course." So
Spreading around. It's gonna be all over Shutesbury and somehow we'll make the paper.
yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's our
great.
mascot, the Oxford comma.
Yeah.
yeah,
put that on a flag.
Right.
I know.
And that this committee does need to send somebody to the police chief, not hiring, contract negotiation team, and that was something that I would love to do.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, that's
if
good. Good
people's-
call. Good call.
So if anybody wants to, I'll make a motion to nominate me to be on the police.
I can make that nomination for you. So I'll nominate April to be on the police chief contract negotiation.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor? Ross, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, I.
Okay,
Goodbye.
And Stein, I.
all right.
Okay.
There hasn't been anything set up for meetings yet on that.
No,
Just so you know.
that's coming.
Yeah, we were a little bit ahead of the process with that.
So one other thing I wanted to ask about was trying to get us back on track if and when we can. So we've talked about the classification schedule, which was one of the things I had written down. Also, the personnel handbook, where are we on that? I mean, we were working on that. I had it be actually before the classification.
It was so I asked Gabe to she is sending me, if she didn't already, I asked her a couple week ago. There's a form that she had pulled from another town that recently did it, that walks you through everything you need to have for an updated one. So
Oh.
we can use it as a standard of including things that we may not have already had in there, or a checklist, punch list, whatever you want to call it. So I believe she may have sent that to me. I'll have to look through my email, and we could use that we use the old one, cross off what we have, and then if there's anything we need new verbiage on, we can go from there.
So that's the personnel handbook.
Yeah, she got, I believe, and don't quote me on this, I think she got it from, there's a TA group listserv or group of information out there, and this is one of the most updated ones that have recently been done. So that will help us, because we were kind of, ours was so old that what do we need to bring it up to, the standard. So
So
And
how
go ahead,
I'm
April.
sorry,
No,
what did you say, April?
I was probably going to say what you were going to say, so go ahead.
No, that we can use it as a basis and not have to rewrite what we have, but then also add what we don't have. And KP Law also has some forms out there that may be language we could use in those places where we need to put it in. Because KP Law does, it's it's our labor attorney office. So that might be helpful. Anyway, so that's kind of where we are in that. So I can forward those things for the next time.
That would be great.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know, I think our major discussion will be on the 13th of February, what can you?
The raise stuff.
where
Yeah.
will we be that And then we'll see what else we can bring in. And another thing, the final thing that I came up with was we were talking about, strong chiefs
Mhm.
and fire.
Oh,
And
and that's right. Becky was gonna get a definition from Donna. I can reach out to Donna for that. I have to reach out for her for something else already.
okay, that would be good to get started on that. So,
And you
Melissa-
guys probably want to read the Mass General Law related, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Can't think of anything I'd rather read.
It's short. They're not long. They're not long at all. They're really
No.
just a
Actually, I think I
paragraph
have.
Quick to say yes on that one, April.
I know, I may have seen, I was on the study committee for the fire chief, and I think I'm sure I've seen, I'm sure Walter presented that to the committee.
Yeah, it's like a very one paragraph. It just hones it in as he gets the chief is in charge of the department hire, fire, equipment. It's the same for the police chief. There might be a little bit more of the police chief for regulation, but that's a summary. And we were gonna check with Donna on that, exactly what that meant.
okay, well, that's great, because those are the classification and the personnel handbook, and then the strong chief that we sort of, with everything else happening, everything sort of dropped off, and it would
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
we can. I had a question and now it's out of my head.
Sorry.
Well, maybe,
Remind when we talk about the strong chief stuff, we might want to make it an addenda to the two chief job descriptions. So just, we should maybe think about that when we read it and talk about it, just kind of, as an appendix or something on there, just so it's,
I think it is woven into the fire chief, that it's a strong chief.
okay, so they wove it into that. I don't believe it's
Um,
in the police chief
I
one.
don't think it
Not,
is.
not woven, mentioned, but not woven. So,
Okay.
okay. Well, we can talk about that when we get to that. So I'll put George on the agenda first,
yeah.
Mhm.
and then, I'll put the other stuff, if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't. I think, COLA's really important, and given the time constraint
Yeah.
and everything else happening, that's what we'll work on first.
Yep.
Oh, is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
That's perfect.
Good. Well, there's just always something. Anything else that anybody is thinking about?
Well, I just had a question. Do you know, Melissa, has the town received any applications for
Ye-
the?
They have, we had the, search committee had their first meeting today.
Oh,
And they're bound by,
yeah, I didn't know if you.
yeah, they're bound
Yeah.
by confidentiality. They can't
Yeah.
release any of that information, and select board can't see it until we have their recommendation. So they had their first meeting today. So they're kind of organizing. So the first meeting is usually organizing chair, how we're gonna do this and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know out of that what their next meeting schedule is, but that's kind of started. That process has started.
Yeah, and it's a rolling, there isn't a deadline for applications, right?
No,
It's just,
no.
yeah, it's rolling. Okay, yeah, and please let me know if anything I
Yeah.
ask, because I don't know what's
Yeah,
going.
no. I can only know so much, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're under confidentiality, and so Gabe is helping with that process, and so it started.
Good.
Great.
Yeah.
And Gabe's with us through February. Is that
I believe at least through February. I don't remember exactly the date. It might be early March. I don't remember. And I don't know if I don't remember if I think it might have been flexible, but I'm not sure. We talked about it, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
So in Geneva came back, the former admin secretary came back to help us with the PFAS stuff, and we've had an intern in there helping out too. So
How about the administrative assistant position? What's happening?
we have not posted that one yet. So we are going to do that. last week got really busy, and Gabe and I didn't sit down and do didn't sit down and do the post thing, to post it, the advertisement.
Mhm.
Well, ideally, our new TA would be part of that. But
Yeah, we talked about that last
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
but
Agreed.
we
Yeah.
just may not have that luxury.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of change at once. A lot of, but with new people come great ideas too sometimes. And
Mhm.
so, different ways of looking at things and, all of that. So, we shall see. We shall
Yeah.
see.
Time. So Melissa, are you okay? I know that, I don't know if has the Zoom stuff settled yet? Are you okay setting up the meeting for the 13th of February?
Yeah. I didn't realize we didn't post a link. So that's why I had emailed you and asked, because
Yeah.
Gabe noticed the link wasn't there. And so I was like, oh, I said,
okay.
yeah.
I set it up in December, but I could not, the last meeting in January, the early one we had, the
Yeah.
5th, 6th.
Mm.
I could not get it to work. My husband, who's much more savvy at computer stuff, he couldn't get it to work, so I went up and talked.
That was when I think they started pulling in all of the other Zooms into this one Zoom account with the licenses. And it pulled it in, it reset those accounts, passwords and such. So I think that was the problem. It was in the middle of converting over, going from the old passwords and stuff. By pulling it in, it reestablished the accounts. And then there was a little bit of a bumpy road for a few people there, which was not foreseen. And so now it's all tightened up, and Gabe has a method she outlined at the department head meeting. There's five licenses that are specific to committees. And then because committees like ours that meet once a month, she's assigned to two different committees to that. So if you do on Tuesday, someone has it on Tuesday, the person on Thursday has it on Thursday. But she can explain that, and I'll have her let me know which one we're on.
Okay.
I swooped in, and she gave me the link tonight for the town administrator account. So
So would you mind doing the 13th for us?
yeah, I'll get her to post the link for the 13th.
All right, much appreciated. It's crazy. It's good. It's all good that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once we have the password and the sign in and password, we'll be able to do it ourselves, and we won't need
Yeah,
to
'cause
worry
I don't know if it was my password that didn't work, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it just wouldn't go. It was
And
not,
I had trouble at the town hall last Tuesday for the select board meeting. I'm like, this has always worked. What's going on? I couldn't get it to work. I had to use my older computer and have game start it.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so committee, is there anything else that we need to talk about? I'll be sending out the minutes, and if they need changes, you'll let me know.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
anything else?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
so should we make a motion to adjourn?
I
Sure.
think we should.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Okay.
It's 30. Oh, ding, ding, right on time.
Mm.
Yay.
Favor?
Makepeace O'Neill, I.
And Steinai.
Brigham Eye.
Okay. All right. So we made you don't have to worry about your hard stop, Anne, at 7 o'clock.
I know, thank you.
Good, taken care of. All right, so we will see you all on the 13th.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you again, Melissa, for working on that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Very frustrating for me.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay, take care.
Yes.
Good
Bye,
night.
Okay.
everybody.
Be well,
Thanks, everyone.
everybody.
Bye.
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 Stay healthy, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.